Hi everyone, we have an interesting guest today. Actually, all our guests are interesting. You know that this series is all about celebrating women in STEM. And today we have Iona Foster. She's a data analyst, mathematician, and a data analyst, and she's doing also her PhD with cancer research. So welcome, Iona. How are you this evening?
Very good, thanks. Excited to take part.
You're most welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I'm a maths grad. I graduated Brunel University, um, and I've had most of my career in data analytics and data science. I'm currently pursuing my PhD at Cardiff University, looking at ways to incorporate machine learning techniques into radiotherapy planning. So
All
a
right.
little bit about me, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm listening to this and I'm very ignorant. Probably the people that are listening to this didn't have a clue as to what does that entail. What is it that you have to do?
What does what have to do? Sorry, I
Yeah,
didn't hear the last.
what is it that you have to do? Like in
Ah,
plain language.
right. So I'm working in partnership with the hospital, Velindre Cancer Hospital. They have a planning technique that they use in-house and they want to advance it a little bit. It's already quite good, but they want to find a way of advancing it so that no human planning time is needed, so that the computer does everything. So I'm trying to help with that. So
Okay.
that would then help save resource for those planners to do something else.
All right. So it's kind of to do with time management then,
Yes.
but to a different degree, to a different level.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you for that. So, who inspired you to become a mathematician?
Yeah. So I guess it happened in stages, I suppose. So I always had great teachers in school, and I was really inspired by them. And I think I was always really encouraged. I think it was quite a rare thing to see a young Black girl interested in the area. So I think I was always encouraged by a lot of my teachers and lecturers. Um, After some time, when I was starting to become interested in pursuing it at college and university, a lot of my teachers and lecturers were obviously saying it's a great career path, it's interesting. Computing and data science was on the rise at the time, so they were obviously pushing me into that. But then there was the thing of women and black women in particular are underrepresented in this field. So
Mm-hmm.
I was really pushed. I had a minority ethnic teacher at college, and she really pushed me. And yeah, I think that was the impetus for what pushed me forward. But yeah, I think from being in mathematics and data science in that area, I started to see how diverse my career could be.
Uh-huh.
Maths and logic and computing is applicable to a number of different things. So it's allowed me to change my career slightly. And now I'm doing something that's actually quite different to what I was doing before. And I think that's why I'm really excited about it. I'm interested in it. And obviously, it's the future, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's why I'm quite, excited about it.
Thank you very
It
much
really
for that.
happened in stages. Yeah.
Thank you. So I can see or I can hear that you are very thankful to the adults and the teachers that actually believed in you and believed
Mm,
in your potential. That should be everyday conversation. Unfortunately, you have some young people that are saying that that's the opposite. The opposite is true. So
mm,
I'm really, really happy to hear that you had that support from day one. So now
yeah.
my next question is this: what are the attitudes of the community towards women or young girls who want to start a career in STEM?
Yeah. I'm not sure there's as much infrastructure for, for us as there would be for other groups. Um, so I think as the population of us is so small, speaking from my experience in the workforce and at university, there
Mm-hmm.
really weren't many people that looked like me on my course or in my workplace.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see how there's obviously going to be few overt blockers for us, but the covert ones are definitely there. The intimidation to take part in these things is definitely there. So I think it's more about now just vocalizing it and sort of encouraging people that look like us um, to not limit themselves.
Do you think that
Yeah,
more ambassadors should be needed?
definitely, absolutely. I think that that's the number one thing that needs to be dealt with now. To have more people come into the front to say, "You can do this as well."
Excellent. So, were you
Mm.
mentored when you started your position? Were
The
you
position
mentored
I'm in,
at any stage of your after graduating? Were you mentored into your current role?
no, no, and that's actually something. It's interesting you say that. It's been something that I really, really wish I had. In and a lot of my workplaces, in fact, um, all of them, I was the only person in my team, only Black person in my team, one of the few women in my team. And I wished that there were more people around just to talk to,
Yeah.
just to have a rapport with. So yeah, a mentor would have been beneficial, but obviously mentors come in all forms, and I was just tried to gain strength from wherever I could get it. Having great team members is key. So the workplace does matter as well. It's not
Mm-hmm.
not just what
All
you're
right.
doing, it's where you are as well.
Uh-huh. Thank
Mm.
you. So, what do you think is happening in UK schools in terms of STEM? Because you are quite young. How was it
Mm.
like for you at the primary level and secondary school?
Yeah, so I'm 29, so I've not actually been in school for a while, but I have taught a little bit in school. I've got younger brothers and sisters, and
Okay.
yeah. So from my experience in school, and I would have left school how long ago now? 13 years, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
um, it was, I think, coding and computer science and that kind of area as a potential career path was on the rise at the time. So um, there wasn't that much resource being put into it, I wouldn't say. But from what I've seen now, they have improved, but of course, schools only go so far in pushing pupils to do anything. So yeah, it has improved, I think, from when I was in school. And they are teaching coding now, and they are talking about their careers in computer science is more of a viable direction,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely more can be done, in my opinion. And I think that of a lot of areas though. So
So, when you went to school, you never celebrated British Science Week or Maths Week or anything like of that nature?
never, no, no, that wasn't something that I did when I was in school. But yeah, it seems like that is changing now. I think because computer science, machine learning, data science is a career path which is seen to be much more viable now than it was then. You know.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So, another question is, do you think that schools are preparing or are prepared to meet the demands of the world?
So I think British schools have a lot to do in terms of competing internationally anyway. So I think that definitely more needs to be done um, to push that area of improvement for us to compete on a world scale. Um, but it's obviously it's terrible. But I think that if any one person really wants to excel in this area, have to do a bit of work outside of school, outside of college, outside of university, even to push yourself and to
Mhm.
compete on an international scale. I think things
Okay.
are moving quite quickly these days. So I would say definitely do a bit extra if you can.
Do you think that children are prepared to compete on the international level?
Mm, I think if they put in a bit extra if they find it interesting, and if you enjoy that area and something that you think you can pursue, then I think more work outside of school, outside of the national curriculum needs to be put in. I'm not sure it's necessarily gonna um, prepare the youth for what's out there. I think things are moving very quickly, so I would encourage anyone who's really interested in it to continue to be interested in it.
Just
Yeah.
so you know, actually, America, well, the United States is leading the way. When you look at the
Uh-huh.
main platforms in social media, Facebook, LinkedIn,
Yeah.
what they're all come America from the United States.
Yeah.
And then you have other places like China with TikTok that is coming forward as
Yeah.
well. But the
Yeah.
ones dominating are the
Mm-hmm.
United States. So it's clear that there they are doing a great amount of job,
Yeah.
great amount of work in making sure that young people are prepared to be at the front of the
Yeah.
innovation,
Yeah.
because that's what they want. They're at the
Mm-hmm.
front and they are
Yeah.
making the money actually.
Yeah. So I
So
think if we want to compete, we're gonna have to really push
definitely,
to do
yeah.
it. Yeah.
And that's only talking about the UK. When you talk
Mm-hmm.
about, if you have to bring in many African countries, there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of work to do. There's a lot of work to do
Mm-hmm.
still.
Mm-hmm.
So next question. What are you currently reading? What are you currently reading?
So what am I currently reading? Are we talking about books? Are we talking
Yeah,
about
yeah, or books, anything that you're reading.
so I guess, with the PhD that I'm pursuing, I'm reading a book called Linear and Non-Linear Programming.
Okay.
um, yeah, it's basically about the background to some of the machine learning techniques that I'll be applying. Um, so yeah, I think when it comes to books, if I was going to encourage anyone to start reading, if they're interested in STEM, it would be to start with some foundational book about machine learning, or not even about machine learning, but more about statistics and the background of machine learning. And yeah, to really understand it a bit more in detail. But yeah, I think anything which gives you a foundational knowledge of STEM, of tech, is going to be helpful.
Thank you. And what advice would you give to parents who might not have the resources but want their children to they want to help the children in becoming that scientist or investor or inventor, sorry.
Yeah, I would say to any parents, is to try to lead by example as much as possible. So yeah, if you are interested in getting your children involved in STEM and in tech and IT, have a crack at it yourself as well. It's going to be interesting in any case. You might find it difficult or a bit of a learning curve, but it's going to be interesting, and then you'll be able to introduce the idea quite early to the youth as well. It won't be as alien to them, and they'll have an appreciation for it. Also, it's important to involve the schools as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Schools don't, necessarily see the importance of certain areas. You can get involved in the PTA and suggest, extracurricular activities if they're not part of the curriculum already. And of course, there are books and online resources. There are a lot of
Mm-hmm.
free books online. There are a lot of free courses online.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's quite a few resources if you're really quite keen on this. And I would encourage it. Definitely get kids involved quite young, but lead by example if you can.
All
It's
right.
one thing.
So I think that was a brilliant answer. Thank you. I think that's really important to lead by example, because children don't do what you say, they do what you
Do what you
do.
do. Yeah,
Yes.
it's true. Yeah.
So thank you very much, Iona.
Mm-hmm.
So that was Iona Foster, data analyst, mathematician, and PhD student with cancer research. So it's been a pleasure having you today. And I hope that you guys listening, you take action, and I hope that you feel inspired, motivated, and empowered.